Hi, you guys. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to look up here at the learning targets. There are two big ones today. Students will be able to analyze fossils and identify features that show change over time. The second one is students will be able to order fossil samples chronologically using context clues and data. So what I want you guys to do is talk at your table for like 20 seconds. I'm going to call on one of you guys, so be ready to share why you think that these learning targets are important. Okay? On your mark, get set, talk.
Being able to analyze them, you can really be able to and we can chronologically the line of evolution, like from where how evolution over time changes over a long period of time, and it shows that there
Good
are
job.
different
I heard you. All right, do I have any volunteers? Why is the first learning target important? The one that we say we're going to able to analyze fossils and identify features that change over time. Yeah, Eli.
This helps support the idea of evolution.
So it supports some of the evidence for our theory behind evolution. Yeah?
If we're able to analyze fossils and or order them chronologically, we can figure out how species have changed or evolved over time.
So that's kind of both of them. You said if we can analyze them and get them in order, we can see how species have changed over a long period of time. Yeah, Gavin?
Using the learning targets, we can find out how closely related or not related animals, different species are.
Yeah, so we can take species that we know about and we have on Earth right now, and we can see how related they are. Absolutely. Yeah? Yeah, so we're getting real evidence that we get to evaluate as opposed to just taking someone's word for it. I love that. Real scientific. So, here is what you guys need to do next. I had you guys practice yesterday just because I know it can be a pain. We are going to pop on to Amplify, okay? So, remember that all of the codes are here. A couple of you had issues signing on, and I figured out yesterday that if you're having problems on Internet Explorer, Chrome is nicer. It lets kids in easier. So a lot of you should not have problems. But, I'm logging in. And we're not going to the exact same spot today, but we're going to a similar spot. So we are going to be going back into the orange one, Amplify. And then, remember the cheeseburger in the corner? Go into the cheeseburger so we can go into the evolutionary history sim. And once you get this far, I want you to tilt your screen so I know you're there. And you can, totes my goats, raise your hand if you're having problems logging in. You good? Today, we are supposed to be right about here. So, out of all of these, we checked out the mammals yesterday, right? But today, we're going to Whale City. We're going to check out the cetaceans. Don't, I want you to watch the whole thing, okay? So, when we logged in, we figured out yesterday that we can compare the anatomy of these fossils. Because we're in the cetaceans, we're in Whale City, we're only having common ancestors from this branch of mammals. When you guys click on two of these, I want you to specifically go into structures, and there is two that I want you to pay attention to very closely. Number one would be the pelvis, right? Because famously, legs are not a feature that we associate whales with, right? So I want to see what their hip bones look like. And the other thing I want you guys to pay attention to is their nostrils. So when I start looking at them side by side, I already, just between these two samples, see a big difference. Okay? So this one, it's not even attached anymore. Nostrils in a different spot. You guys have 5 of these. Oh, did I break it again? Zoom out. Okay, nope, here we are. We have 5 of them to go through. After you go through all 5 of them, then I want you to come to the tree, right? And when we're in the tree, I want you to go specifically to where the cetaceans live. So, cool. There we are. You are not allowed to guess and check. I repeat, you are not allowed to guess and check. I want you guys to start off down here with our whale friends. I want you to study their features, and then I want you to compare them to the other ones, the 5 samples that we have. When you think that you're pretty confident, I want you to place them in and then see if your analysis was correct. All right? Are there any questions about what your goal is for right now? Okay, on your mark, get set, go. And I forgot to mention that you can work with your neighbor on this one. Okay. Yeah.
I can't see the orca. It's not letting me see.
Yeah, so what I had to do earlier with somebody else was zoom out a little bit, and then it let me.
Oh, there we go.
Cool. Yep, exactly. As you saw with me, it's a little bit tricky. Hey, stranger. Do you know where you're going, pal? You were in the right spot. So, go to the tree. And then, would you go hit the 3 dots in the corner? Nope, other way. That's the cheeseburger. Sorry. Up here. And zoom out a wee bit. And then you can see the cetaceans tab down there. Yeah. Show me with your hands how many more minutes you need. 0, 2, 5. Okay, you guys have 2 more minutes on this, okay? Reg, do you think you can do it in 2 minutes? Okay. Gavin, are you staring at it?
What's baleen?
Baleen, it's not teeth, because they're definitely not teeth, but it's like these long, stringy combs. Yeah. Yeah. Are you okay? So go to the top right, where the 3 dots are. Zoom out a wee bit. A wee bit more. Wee bit. Nope. There you are. Yeah.
And then you're like there, and then you
You good? God.
And then I have the middle one. The Embolosius and the
thing is the
All right, one more minute. One more minute. Okay, as you're wrapping up, totally cool if you're not totally done, but here is what I do want to ask you. What is the trend you saw over a series of time, right? Let me actually add one more thing first. How long of a time do you think this took? 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years? Where are you guys at with that? Kurt? So you're putting it in the millions of years. Okay, how about you?
Probably like 120 million or something.
So millions of years. What about you, Adam? 48 million. So as long as we're recognizing that this is not a short period of time, this is a crazy long period of time. What are some of the changes you saw over that extremely long period of time? Ava?
Well, it seems like they slowly evolve their tail into the thing that ends up making them be able to move forward.
So like the fluke of the whale powering it forward? Yep. Jack?
Did somebody mention the nostrils?
No, not yet.
I saw that. What is it? The one at the top. It had it right at the end of its snout, and then I saw that as it went on, it moved back to the principal whale.
So earlier species had it towards the front of their skull, and as many generations and millions of years go by, they've migrated towards the top of their skull, is what you're saying, right? Why is that important? Why would that be important for a whale, Morella? Yeah, you're right. That's what we call it. It is a blowhole. That is how they get air. Why is that important for a whale, Reese?
The top of the whale is obviously the top, so when they go up above the water, it's the first thing that breaches the water.
So it breaches the water, allows them to get air, right? And what might be beneficial about that, Nicholas?
If you have it on a whale's head, the whale can't lift its head out of the water. It has to stay in the water.
Yeah.
So if they had it anywhere else, exactly on top of them, if they would drown.
So more energy efficient to just not have to lift your head out, and maybe even bigger whales can't. Yeah.
It doesn't need to stop swimming. Well, if it was on its face, like the nostril, like
in the front, yeah.
Yeah, then it would have to stop and look up, which I'm pretty sure it would start drowning, like it said.
So yeah, that's not the best use of time if you're in the ocean and you're hunting or being hunted. You don't want to stop and just breathe. It's easier just to grab a breath and keep going. Kate?
Over time, the pelvis disappeared.
Yes. Over time, all of these species, they lost critical use of their legs, and so the pelvis became less and less prominent, right? So, yes, Gavin.
I noticed that the legs over time
Mhm.
slowly became smaller and eventually turned into flippers.
Absolutely as well. The long limbs were no longer as important. It was easier to be streamlined. Isaac.
Their body got longer.
Yeah. So when you look at the first couple ones, they're pretty small organisms, right? But then they kind of become extended over time. Last thought.
I found that their tail evolved into their body. It was kind of like when they lost the pelvis.
Uh-huh.
What started happening was the body kind of started expanding where the tail was, and then you had the fin at the end, which is the very end of the tail.
So I think what I heard you say is instead of it being like torso and then a tail, it became a much more prominent feature of the overall structure of the whale. Yeah. That is amazing. So here's the deal. Fossils. We have all grown up with fossils, right? And we've heard about it. How many of you guys as a little kid were like, I love dinosaurs? Well, Dinosaur Train's been around that long? I didn't realize that. Okay. So, sorry, my nieces and nephew were super into that for a hot minute. So, what I'm looking at is a fossil. But to the untrained eye, you might think that it is a stone tongue. Which, that sounds really weird. Why are you saying that, Mr. Haynes? Well, if I zoom out, we have an article we're looking at today. Dun, dun, dun. So, would you guys rather read the article independently with your group or as a class? Okay. I'm going to be honest, I heard more as a class. So, are you guys ready to popcorn? Okay. Yeah?
I volunteered to
Okay. Thank you for volunteering as tribute today, Jackson. Just so you know, A-Dog was ready to volunteer, so she might be a really easy popcorn. Okay, bud? I think it's Steno. Yeah. Yeah.
Steno and the shark. Believe it or not, some of the most important scientific thinking about how to determine the age of a rock came from a scientist who was studying sharks. In 1666, fishermen caught a huge great white shark off the coast of Italy. Because it was so large and interesting, they sent the shark to Nicholas Steno, a Danish scientist working in Italy who enjoyed studying the animals, plants, and rocks he found in nature.
It's your turn. You get to pick.
As Steno studied the sharks, he noticed something surprising about its teeth. They looked like triangular rocks that he had seen before. These triangular rocks were known as tungstones. Scientists had found tungstones rocks all over the world, but could not explain where they came from. Amy?
Some scientists claim that tungstones grew inside rocks. This did not make sense to Steno, because the tungstones fit so perfectly inside the rocks. The tungstones were completely surrounded by rock, with no breaks or cracks. Steno reasoned that the tungstones could not have grown inside the rocks. Comparing the tungstones to the teeth of his shark, Steno realized that tungstones must be the teeth of sharks that had lived long before. How could teeth end up inside solid rock?
So in 1666, this is a real question, right? How did these things get inside rock? This is bananas. So we think they grew there. And it wasn't until this guy starts to put the puzzle together. So, A-Dog, you can go ahead. Popcorn off.
Steno argued that the rock around the shark was not all. The stones hadn't always been solid. He claimed that the rock had once been sand or mud at the bottom of the ocean. Sharks swimming in that ancient ocean had lost their teeth, and their teeth fell to the bottom of the ocean and were covered with sand and mud. Eventually, the sand and mud hardened into rock. The shark's teeth became fossils embedded in hard rock. The end result was the tungstone, a fossil in the shape of a tooth surrounded by rock.
Alright. Steno's study of fossils helped him explain how rock layers form. He argued that certain kinds of rock form in layers, with older layers below and newer layers on top. He said that the lower a rock layer was, the older it was. Steno's ideas about rocks can form in layers. Steno's ideas about how rocks can form in layers, with the older layers on the bottom and the newer ones on the top, are still used by geologists today, about 350 years later.
Steno couldn't say exactly how old the rock layers were, but he helped scientists understand that some rock layers are older than the others. He also explained what fossils were. These important insights led to our current understanding of Earth's history.
Rad. So, how many of you guys learned something about fossils today?
Oh, that's me.
Yayo. And more importantly, well, I should say as importantly, we have this graphic in the top right corner, right? Mr. Haynes, when we first started talking about the evidence for evolution, mentioned this concept. The ground under our feet is formed in layers, with the oldest layers on the bottom and the newest layers on the top. Different fossils can be found in different layers, and the layer they're found in can give us clues about how old they are. So, I said, think about your backpack if you've never cleaned it out. Where is the stuff from September? Bottom. Where is the stuff from yesterday? The top. And I said that this has a name in geology. And I don't expect you guys to remember, but I'm going to be really impressed if you do. The law of...
Not cleaning your backpack.
Not the law of not cleaning your backpack. The law of superposition. The law of superposition says that when we have sedimentary rock that is layered, the deeper down we go, the older the fossils get. So, when we did that with the whales today, that was really convenient because we just got to look at the anatomical structure, right? But it's not always that easy. So, right here, I have good news and bad news for you guys. Okay? Good news is, we are all a team. And we dug out 9 samples of fossils, all from different layers. And we are very lucky because actually the law of superposition gave us a really good relative dating. So we know which ones were older, which ones were younger, and then something bad happened. We gave it to Eli, and Eli dropped it. And we are super lucky they didn't break, which is good news. However, we lost the order. So we don't know, even though we had that really good idea of relatively how old they were, we don't have that anymore. But Eli swears that sample number 2 was the oldest one that we found the deepest. Okay? So what your task is A, you need to copy and paste this tab into your homework section. And then B, either by yourself or with your group mates, you need to get these guys in order. How are you going to do it? Well, we're going to look at the organisms as clues. If we know that we're starting off with these green pill bugs guy, can we figure out which sample came next? The one after that, the one after that. I'm going to give you guys probably 3 minutes to do it. Doesn't seem like enough time, but I bet you it probably is. All right? On your mark, get set, go. Reese, I don't see any charges either. Do you mind sharing? Okay. Kate has her charger. Reese, do you want to plug in? Cool. Up to you, pal. Alex, I'm going to sneak behind you, buddy. You're fine, Fritz. Doing okay, Dilly? Okay.
After sample 3? Well, after sample 9? Yeah. The last one that we just did. I'm getting the hang of it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Am I tall enough for this, Jack?
That was some great
You're just numbering them. I like your style. Oh, you just numbered them too. Cool.
No, but the number 4 has the green thing.
Yeah, the green thing is last.
But what about the potatoes?
The potatoes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. And then there's still some potatoes left in 3. And then there are no potatoes in 4.
Look at mine and like there's green one here.
Yep. All right. How many more minutes you need? Show me with your hands. Good. Okay, that was pretty quick.
You got the same order as me.
Can I have you guys please tilt your screens then? Because this part's going to get confusing unless you guys watch up here. Okay? So.
I feel like I'm always in the
Okay.
camera.
It's all right. We're good. So, I have this one because Eli is positive as number 1, right? What did you guys get for your second oldest layer? Patrick. Sample 1. How many of you guys got sample 1 as the next one? Good, so we're all agreeing. Here is what I do know. We have encountered these fossils before, okay? So we know all of their names. Do you guys see where I found that on the worksheet below? Okay. So you are going to continue using the law of superposition. And we said that sample 2 was the first one. And then we said the organism that was in that sample. So that's where we found that name. And I'll show you guys sample 1 more time. That was the only thing in there. In sample 2, we have that green guy, and we also have the cinnamon roll guy. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, cinnamon roll guy's name is Microbius herinius. So, what I'm going to do, and this is where I want you guys to very much look up at the screen right now. I'm going to say the second oldest one is sample 1. And the organism that was in it was the Globus slimius again. But it was also the Harriousness one. Okay? So I am just indicating that both of those species are present. Okay? Your next set of tasks is to get this completed in the law of superposition. So which one goes here, which one goes here, which one goes here. And you're going to look for a trend in the data. After that, you have 5 analysis questions. This is not it for the end of the day, though. So I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes to do those analysis questions and trending your data. All right. Are you guys ready to go? Yeah. Go ahead. Again, you guys can keep working with your partners if you'd like. I know you guys are being really serious right now, but is anybody going to the dance? See you there.
No one dances.
Dude, I danced the whole time.
I danced better.
Let's see it, Palvin.
Oh, okay. How long is it?
It usually ends right at about 4:15.
Mr. Haynes, I know you're better.
I know. Banana, yeah. Banana Bob, that works for me. I'll figure it out.
He's not. What? You seriously don't know?
He's an artist.
I don't know how they don't know.
It's okay. Not everybody's into the same genre, man.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
I love that you're using actual photos of them.
Bogus.
Fungus among us.
I'm too lazy to do that.
Okay.
You know what my favorite one is?
Fungus.
Banana, bobana. Bobanana.
You don't like.
My head is exploding. You're writing with your mouse.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
I think that'd be impossible. I'm impressed.
It's really hard. Fungus among us. Where'd the potatoes go? It's potato. Stop talking.
Gavin, stop sassing us.
Okay.
You're being 80% watermelon right now.
You're being 100% on camera right now.
That's not creepy at all.
Yeah.
He's a watermelon.
As the new things came in, the old things went out.
Yeah. Especially like in our hallways and stuff here at school, but
Yeah. Wait a second. I don't like that. I feel like I'm being lost.
You are being lost.
Yeah, I know, and I don't like
to be
it.
honest, there's not someone staring at it. It's just when there's a problem.
I feel like there's always gonna be somebody watching. And then like I'm gonna like that's like barely wrong, and then they're gonna be like, you're expelled.
Like, to be fair though, there's been a couple teachers who, like, in the morning on their way in, like, to school, they tripped, and then that video has gotten around.
That's fun.
Yeah. So I guess it's
There's
like,
a lot of videos of me tripping then.
for real,
Probably.
probably.
Do we have to write out the whole name on
No, you can totally abbreviate, buddy.
So can we just write Nexobus and then
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have to do the whole thing.
I finished.
Okay. I'd say you do you. Make sure you move on to the next set of questions, okay? The 5 analysis questions. Because we're moving on in 6 minutes.
I was gonna say also ladies, but then shots get
Are you doing okay with that? Okay.
I got number 9. Mr. Hayes, I said hi to the camera.
Good.
Facing right towards me, like
Good.
I was sitting.
Like what, Jason?
Okay, the little jellyfish things have the best name ever.
The Bananaramas ones?
Banana Bobamba.
Yeah.
It's like the band. Banana.
Angela, you
Good reference. I'm impressed. You getting there? Okay.
I don't have hobbies. I have a lifestyle.
What is this asking?
Which question?
Analysis 1.
So can I look at your data?
Yeah.
Do you see how you have this trend going upwards? But do you see how it's like present, absent, present? That X, to me, looks like it is out of the pattern. So what does that imply about your data? Reese, what does that imply about your data? Like, because it could be a lot of different things. Like, what's one thing that jumps to your mind?
Well, one thing could be speciation. It sounds very entirely whole species.
Yep.
One part of it has gone away, while the previous part has not.
Yeah. So a divergence. My helpful hint would be, is the tree outside necessarily going to become a fossil?
No.
Why not?
It's not in the right place.
Yeah, so in the next sample, that similar circumstances could have occurred. Eli, do you need a pen or something?
She does, so studying.
I found a pen in here, so.
I know. By doing what?
How you doing, Isaac? Good. Coop, how are you, pal?
In what?
That's the pattern. Okay.
You see a definite trend, right?
And there's one outside the pattern.
So that's the second question, right? Yeah. What does that tell you, Gav?
That it has a longer life, it's more fit to survive for that period of time that it was existing.
Mm-hmm. Sure. That could be, like, I'm going to be honest, a million answers work there, and that's one of them that would work.
I'll actually put these in a different order than the supposed to be, I guess.
Yeah, so you're going to see some crazy things, right? So you could either, like, try to flop them, or you can go with it and express that when you start to analyze your data. Kind of up to you, Coop. I'm going to explain the next set of instructions, though, probably in like 3 minutes. So if that impacts your decision. I'm just looking how far you are.
Shut up, Amy. You're hurting my feelings again. Amy's hurting my feelings
Did
again.
you put an avocado on the back?
It's actually a fresh avocado.
A fresh
My
avocado?
Oreo.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Hey, should I show this? It's not falling in.
God.
You should look at ours. Ours is big.
Not even the inside.
Go Power Rangers! I like the jellyfish. Is that a mummy or an astronaut? I like it. Yep. I like the butterfly. But the one thing, Angela, I kind of always expect an avocado from you. He stole it from you? That's it? I like it.
I don't get this question.
Which question, bud?
It says, what does it mean if there's an X on it?
Okay, so I see a definite trend in your data, yeah? And I see this one and then a blank space in that one. So to me, it looks like that X doesn't fit. But clearly it's there, so we can't lie about it. What do you think that could mean? Does that clear up your... Yeah. You guys are done? Looks like it. Are you done, bud? Okay. I am assuming that you guys are done? Okay. You haven't reflected yet. Your analysis questions? You're missing 2. Okay. What up? Yeah. I am okay with that. All right. Hey guys. I know that some people are done with my task that I set forth. I know some of you guys are moving on, or you're ready to move on. Regardless of where you are, can you guys tilt your screens again?
Yeah.
And that way I can explain. So if you need to keep working, when I'm done explaining, you can keep working, but then you know what you're doing next. So, one thing I kind of tried to slide in there was the fact that you guys were just relative dating. So you were saying, hey, based on the species and what I know about the law of superposition, I was able to put them in an order, right? Can anybody in this room give me a year of how old do you think those are? Why is that impossible? Go ahead, A-Dog.
Because we don't have like any points of any of the fossils.
Like there's no reference point. Yeah, Ava?
We're only comparing them to themselves. We're not really comparing it to any other like organism that we might know the time of. We don't even. This could be like from the past. We don't even know. It could be from the future. We just, it's like.
If it's from the future, but yeah.
Ava,
I think that like we literally just entered the matrix on that one.
Ava's unveiling conspiracy theories right now, like left and right.
Okay, so last thought, Fritz. The future, the matrix. Okay. So, but okay, sorry, Reese, go ahead. I didn't see your hands.
We don't really know how quickly sand or mud washed over fossils.
Right.
May have caused it over how much time.
Yeah, so we're just not even sure about that type of stuff. So here is the real truth to all of this. Relative dating is relatively good, right? It helps us get a good idea. What really helps us is absolute dating.
Carbon dating.
And that is done through carbon dating. So looking at radiometric isotopes, we know how certain isotopes, oh my gosh, I forgot the word. It's not decompose. We know what their half-life is. So we know at what point they start to change chemical composition. So we can say, this is what we started with. On day 1, it would be 100% this and 0% the next composition it'll be in. And over time, we can see how that ratio changes. And that gives us a really, really good idea of how old something is. And the good news is someone financed that for us. We know how old our samples are.
Oh, wow.
But Eli, you dropped them.
It's all your fault.
So we don't really know. So what we have to do is use both of those methods. We just put them in order, right? So we know the oldest to the youngest, and we are going to start to analyze that. Same thing. Sample number 2 is on the bottom, and they gave us all of these ages. 28.5 million years ago, 30.2 million years ago, 18.3, 17.6, 26.3, 14.2, 23.1, 15.5, and 19.5 million years ago.
Okay.
So, we're going to start with what we know. Sample 2 is the oldest, and out of all of our ages, that is the oldest, 30.2 million years ago. I know the samples that are there. So, we all agreed that 1 came next. I have to figure out what date best matches up with that. And I was going to go 28.5. Okay? Then you're going to tell me what was in it, right? I know that it was Globius slimius, and then the one I can't say, Microbius harius. And then you have 2 more questions, all right? We are going to tackle the third part on Tuesday when we get back to school, right? But I have a feeling that most of you can get to the end of procedure 2 by the end of today. Did that make sense? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Rad? I'm going to keep walking around, keep helping you guys. So just get me over if you need help. Going somewhere? Allergy season? Got it. Can I ask for us just to envision positive self-talk?
Yes,
Lucas, you're beautiful.
So, my thing is, you are deliberate. You're making sure you're right every moment. And Eli, you only drop the samples once, right? Twice actually.
We all messed up.
I just messed up more.
Yeah.